Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to TOI Auto, and today I've got two special guests with me. Of course, there's the newly launched Mercedes-Benz EQS 580, and we have Santosh Iyer with us.
Thanks, Arpit, for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. And well, you all would have read and seen that this car was recently launched, and this comes after the first electric Maybach. So Santosh, also after that car, this is the first EQS SUV to be manufactured outside US.
Yeah.
And you are now making this in India. So what was the reason behind, why did you decide that let's make this in India?
See, 18 odd months back, we were the first luxury OEM to start manufacturing the EQS sedan in India, and we have done close to 500 plus cars. And thanks to our customers, almost a car a day in the last 18 months, we have been doing EQS. And of course, one of the feedback of customers who have driven was also that they need a larger car. Maybe also India has large families, sometimes you have maids accompanying you, or pets, or even kids and families. So in that sense, for them to travel together, a full-size SUV generally is preferred. Therefore, the GLS does extremely well in India. So we said for that we need a car to plug in, and then again we had the option of getting it CBU even a bit earlier than this car. But then to get the price advantage and to ensure that we are able to get more and more customers into this car, we had to localize it. So we were able to convince our colleagues back in Stuttgart that this is the second car we need to localize in India, and yeah, here we are, a locally made in India EQS SUV.
So Santosh, of course, it's a massive vehicle in terms of size, huge proportions, also has a very great road stance, everything. Now for this size of a vehicle, what kind of market do you see in India, especially because it's electric? So it's like a niche within a niche.
Yeah, see, firstly, for us, we want to provide options. If I look at the GLE and GLS segment, we do more than 5,000 cars in that segment in a year. So that's a big segment for us with SUVs, customers buying these cars. And also in the top end segment, 25% of our sales comes from cars more than 1 crore. So I think for us, it's a core segment of core Mercedes-Benz customer segment. And here it's an option for customers to also look at an electrified option. Today, a lot of them want the green number plate to start with. They want a functional electric car. What we have tried to do is, on one side it's a massive car, but we have not cut down on a rear wheel steering. For example, we have ensured it's standard in the car. So maneuverability, if you drive yourself on a weekend, you don't have to bother with such a large car even in city spaces. Secondly, the battery sizes, the biggest battery pack, 122 kilowatt hour. So it gives you range, ARI certified range of 809 plus, but real world also 650, 700 should be possible with this car. So we have not compromised on the comfort, interiors, as well as seating position, etc. in this car. So the customer group should be in our view, will be the young customer, 35 to 45, many of them also buying car for themselves, some of them even gifting that for their family, for their father or for their mom, because as today Mercedes-Benz cars are also bought to reward oneself. So in that sense, maybe electric, there are few options today in the market. So I think this way it clearly plugs into that gap of that top end SUV segment.
And Santosh, right now you do have an extensive portfolio of electric vehicles already in India. You're adding more to it. Globally, a lot of car makers have also sort of rolled back their plan. There have been different opinions on EVs. What's Mercedes-Benz India's stand on EVs going forward for this market? How do you see?
So firstly, let me explain the global perspective as well. Globally we look at sales numbers and then we say the adoption rate is positive or negative. But the adoption rate is depending on price, because if the price is higher, consumers tend to remain with the combustion engine. Now, why is the price going up? Because the government incentives go back and forth in all markets, including the US, including Europe. Taxes are changing, because the government in many of these countries are not able to continue to afford it for fiscal reasons maybe, and they have their own reasons. Now that changes the demand. Now why you need support? Because a lot of consumers also ask, why does an OEM need, why should government support it? So firstly, EVs is the only option for decarbonizing automotive industry. Automotive industry today is responsible for 20% of the greenhouse gases, emission, health. So, and that actually is the core that we are responsible as stakeholders to decarbonize and get emission-free mobility. Come to India, which was your question. If you look at India, it's a 4 million car market today, 4.2 million last year and growing. And imagine a car penetration of 24 per 1,000 people compared to 500 and 1,000 per 1,000 people in US and Germany and so on and so forth. So if India is going towards Viksit Bharat, let's even assume that the 4.2 million becomes 10 million in 10 years. imagine cars which are not decarbonized and our roads and the kind of emission that can come up. So I think for us it's not a, as a corporate citizen we need to educate, we need to get in, and in India thankfully the combustion engines have very high tax, you know, 48% tax on a combustion engine plus 15 to 20% road tax in many states, and with EVs with a 5% GST, thanks to the government's vision also that they want to decarbonize automotive sector. I think this is, consumers should also take note of it and they should shift now. We manufacture all. I have I have gasolines, clean diesels, I have EVs. So end of the day, it's up to the customer to decide the pace of transformation. But it's a lot of education, stakeholders like us, stakeholders like you as media to also share what's the benefits. There is a bit of, I would say, planning required in EVs, for sure sometimes, but how many times you go out of a city? Now these cars, you can do a Bombay, Delhi, Delhi, Jaipur without charge. So you don't need even thinking to charge, you know, and we have now also a large charging network within all these corridors. So it should not be a challenge. But yes, customers decide the pace of transformation, and we will continue to offer more and more products so that they also can have options. Today, you know, the EVs, again I keep saying in Indian context, hardly 10% of retail outlets sell an EV in India. So to expect now EV sales to be significantly higher is also not fair. Most OEMs don't have an EV also. So maybe it's a matter of time, but I think that's not an option.
Okay. And yesterday you also made the announcement related to the E-Class, and a lot of people have been waiting for the long wheelbase E-Class. So in that segment right now, the car was missing. So what are your expectations from the new E-Class?
I think for us, E-Class has been a very strong or the best selling luxury sedan in India, and that's also because we made it for India many years back. Similarly, we were the first to come with a long wheelbase, so we are pioneers in many ways, and I think we give what the customer needs. With a very good run out of the current E-Class, there is a huge expectations. We have opened expression of interest now, and our teams back, I'm proud to say, are able to deliver this car before the Diwali season. So of course not all will get the cars because I am sure the bookings will be huge today onwards from dealerships, but I think we will try to start and give as many cars this festive season, and of course moving forward till end of the year as well.
Right, and you know, before this you also launched the Maybach version, the 680. How's the response been for that?
You know, that's great. Last 1 week back, we introduced the car, more than 50 cars. This was a count even 2 days back. We were thinking of a triple digit this year in terms of getting these cars. I am sure in the next couple of weeks, we will be done with that car for this year. So it's a good problem and a bad problem to have, because again, customers in this segment want the car yesterday. Whenever they see the car, they start talking. You know, they just like to get this car. So we are discussing to see how we can get more cars for India, but that clearly shows that at the right price point, you know, irrespective of you know, fuel types, you get a demand, and customers are ready to, you know, if it's the right product at the right price, they are ready to shift to EVs.
And Santosh, you and your team have been busy this year. You've been keeping us busy, and I'm sure our viewers would want to know how many more stars left for the year.
So we committed 12 launches in the year, and Arpit, this is the 11th launch, and 12th one is of course the new E-Class. We try if we can get something end of the year to end on the high note, or we start the next year with a bigger bang as well. So let's see, fingers crossed, but we are on to our commitment. 12 launches, 11 done, one more to go. The new E-Class comes on 9th October next month.
Brilliant. So that was what Santosh had to say about EQS, the brand, a lot of things, including the E-Class. And how's the EQS 580 to drive? Well, you can watch our video or read about it. And Santosh, as always, it was a pleasure.
Enjoy the drive.
Thank you so much.